Well, hello designers and welcome back to Aseel by Sketchbook. I've missed you guys so freaking much. You wouldn't even believe. Today we'll be talking about the topic that you voted for. I made a poll and I put it on my YouTube channel because the community tab is activated because we've had 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. Oh my god. It's such a big number to me. I know, like, compared to other channels, like, I'm still a small channel, but I do feel the love and thank you guys so much. I love each and every one of you. So I just wanted to say thank you for subscribing, and if you haven't subscribed already, then consider subscribing. We talk about interior design here. We also talk about the struggles of starting up your own business, things like that. So if you want to stay tuned for that, then consider subscribing and ringing the bell. Thank you very much. Anyway, yeah, before we get started into the topic of commercial design, I just wanted to let you know that I have a giveaway on my Instagram account. If you're not living in the UAE, then you can skip this part. I'll leave a timestamp down below. I'm gonna be redesigning your workspace, which means, like, we'll buy furniture, furnishings, you know, accessories, all of that jazz. And we will be providing your workspace with a makeover. So if you're interested, shut up! So if you're interested, just let me know on the post on the Instagram. I'll leave it down below. And also I have a workshop in concepts and visualizing concepts into mood boards on March 9th. So that will be in Dubai Design District, and I'm so excited to see all of you if you're living in here. And if you're not, I really hope to meet you. I met one of you the other day. But I have to stop rambling now and let's get to the topic. Today's topic is all about commercial interior design. It's very relevant to what I have right now because I've just been designing an office. The greatest coincidence of all time is that the plans that I had in my commercial interior design class, which was the same plan that we had designed on as students. I was privileged enough to design an office in it. That happened last month and I was, you know, my mind was actually blown. So it was pretty great. It's such a great experience. So first of all, what is a commercial interior design? It's basically any space that serves up a business. A restaurant, a cafe, offices, of course, in all shapes and forms. Also hospitality projects, so hotels, even hospitals are considered commercial interior design projects. There's a lot of things to discuss in each and every topic, but today we'll talk about it generally, and we'll talk about the rules generally of designing commercial spaces. So what is there to talk about? What makes it different from residential projects? A lot of things feed on the differences between residential design and commercial design. We're talking spaces that are public and a lot of people use with different habits and with different kind of social situations. Each and every commercial design space has its own needs. If you want to dive into the topic of a commercial interior design, I really recommend this book. We've studied this book back in college and I will leave the details of it down below. So designing a commercial space usually always starts the same. You have to meet up with a client or someone that represents the client, and they usually tell you about the brand and the idea behind the brand and what they do in general. My advice to you is to listen and observe and understand the patterns and spaces that they would need and talk about. My recent project, my client was very organized, so she sent me a list of the spaces that she needed, which is amazing. So if you're a client and you're watching this, very good practice is to actually understand what kind of things are you expecting of your space. Of course, the aesthetics are important, but what's more important than the aesthetics is how you function within the space, especially if it's an office space. So yeah, right after we have the meeting, I will also link down below a blog post that what you should ask a commercial project clients, like what kind of questions do you need to ask them. Of course, you'll need some information about the organization itself and the organizational chart. What kind of people are adjacent to each other. This is like speaking strictly about offices. Most of the commercial spaces, they almost always have an office or a back office where people actually work. So this is why I'm emphasizing on this aspect of the design. Now moving on to the next design step, you would usually receive the plan, which here's where it gets tricky. You have to have some kind of understanding for the regulations of that country. Safety, whether it's the civil defense, you know, kind of regulations, any kind of policies that the building have also will affect how you design it. You have to contact the authorities of the building if you're designing and you're doing the fit out. And if you're not, then of course, like, this is not your responsibility per se, but it's good to know. So you keep that in mind when you're designing. One of the regulations that you should watch out for is also the sprinklers, where they are located. If there's a room without sprinklers, then you can't build an entire wall, so you have to leave some space. So like these kind of things, they really affect your layout and your design. And let's not get too deep into this, because like right now we're just getting an overview of commercial spaces. And then what you do is you build a mood board or something as a visual board. Commercial projects are a lot more creative than residential when it comes to giving a proper concept. So an idea usually that is derivative from where the company is coming from is always like appropriate. A little note that you need to know that most companies have a branding kit that you can actually ask for, and it contains their fonts, it contains their colors, and it would be a really thoughtful move to ask for it and then use it as a place where you can build on your mood board from. Then the next step would be to actually do the space planning. Whether the space is big or the space is like a tiny office, as a creative and as an interior designer, your duty is to actually solve that problem by dividing it up. Remember the brief that the client talked to you about, the organizational chart. What are they doing within the space? This is where it comes handy, because you'll know what spaces need to be adjacent, what departments work together. There's a lot of advanced methods when it comes to space planning, and one of them is the matrix. So building a functional matrix is not important for all projects, but if you're doing a commercial design in such a big space, that is kind of important. So just to keep your thoughts organized. If you want me to do a whole video about the bubble diagram and the criteria matrix, let me know in the comments down below and I'll make it happen. Keeping your thoughts organized in commercial projects is very important, just because you're also not dealing with one person, but there's possibly an entire firm, a group of people that are actually making the decision to execute this design or not. So it's very important for you to make sure that everyone gets on board with you with the idea that you're designing. Depending on whether or not you are the one who is executing the project, you have to prepare certain documents. Of course, in between all of these steps, you will have to meet up with a client and understand if you are aligned with their vision. And of course, they have a certain number of revisions before it becomes a variation to them. So they'll have to pay extra after a certain amount of changes. Especially if you're dealing with them as a freelancer, you have to understand these kind of regulations. And in the future videos, I'll be speaking more about this. Also, I want to talk to you about the documents that you need to submit. So of course, you will need to submit the layout and the dimension layout, places where you need walls, so the partition layout, and also you will need to submit the furniture layout, of course. Material specification also is another thing that you will need to give out. So you'll have to specify flooring, you'll have to specify walls if any is needed. The documents that you need to submit are different from one project to another, so I'm more than happy to write a blog post about it, and then you can read it and have like a checklist if you want. Let me know in the comments down below and I'll also make it happen. Very important note to add here is that it all depends on the contract that you had with the client in the beginning of the project. So if the contract has a certain amount of documents, then you need to submit all of the documents that are on the contract. So before you do anything, revise that contract, let someone else also revise it for you, so you understand if it's your scope of work or not. And in a lot of the cases as well is like 3D visualization. I believe that if you're an interior designer, you have to master some sort of a 3D visualization software, or to have someone hired that does that. But honestly, like, I know it's stepping into an entire different topic, but if you're working on an interior design project, you want to be able to kind of visualize your ideas, even if it's through sketching and somehow accurate with the dimension and scale. Then it makes the client understands the space and be able to visualize it and get on board with you on the ideas. And it's also very beneficial for you. So this is basically the overview about commercial spaces design. Hopefully that it was helpful for you. If you have any questions whatsoever, like, pop it down in the comments below. I'll make sure to answer as many questions as possible. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell. And yeah, go ahead and follow me on Instagram so you know updates, and you can have like insights about projects that I'm working with. Although like I haven't posted on Instagram since like forever ago, I'm deciding to make a comeback, so stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you want to see in the next video, and have a great time of the day wherever you are in the world. Goodbye.